Hi, I'm Stone, and welcome to the Mountaintop Kitchen. Today, we're bringing the magic of King's Day to your kitchen with a stunning Rosca de Reyes. This traditional sweetbread is as beautiful as it is delicious, decorated with candy fruit to resemble a crown, and filled with surprises. Whether you're continuing a beloved tradition or trying something new, our easy to follow recipe will help you bake a showstopper that's perfect for sharing with family and friends. Let's get started. Okay, let's start by making our pre-ferment. You're going to need 20 grams of instant yeast, about 1 tablespoon of sugar. We're going to take this from our total sugar count, and about 3 tablespoons of flour. You're going to have your dough is going to be about 1 kilogram of flour in total. But we're going to take 3 tablespoons out right now. Give that a little shuffle. Get nice and mixed up a little bit. And then we're going to add 50 milliliters of warm water. Mix that up nice and good. Get all those dry bits in there. This is your pre-ferment. This will be your leavening agent to get your king's bread to rise really nice and look pretty. Let's get this mixed up nice and good here. And then we're going to just cover it and let it set for about 20 minutes. And then we'll be ready to fix our dough. So we'll be back in 20 minutes when this is fermented. Okay, our pre-ferment is ready. As you can see, it's nice and bubbly and fermented just how we want it. So we're going to make our Rosca dough using a stand mixer. So let's just get this up and put our pre-ferment into the bowl. Get all this goodness in there. Okay. I have the dough hook. Now you can make this dough by hand. It takes a little bit of time. I prefer to let my stand mixer do the work for me. So we have the pre-firm in there. We're going to add in the 200 milliliters of room temperature milk. Okay. And let's get that going. I'm gonna stir. We'll add in our 5 eggs. One at a time, or 2, if the case. So let's put in these last 2, and then we'll get this going again. Okay. We're going to add in the remainder of our 300 grams of sugar. Our 30 milliliters of vanilla. Our zest of 2 oranges. Let's get that in there. 12 grams of salt. And slowly we're going to add in our remainder of flour. We don't want it flying all over the place. I'm going to start by putting in half of the flour. And we'll start the mixer on slow because we don't want the flour flying all over the place. I'm going to scrape the bowl down a little bit, get the flour that's hanging out on the sides. Okay. and put in the rest of this flour. Here we go. That's the rest of the kg of flour. And we'll get that going on slow again. Okay. So you can see pretty much the flour has absorbed all the liquid. So we're just going to take this and cover it for about 20 minutes. And we'll be back in 20 minutes to check on this dough. Okay, it's been about 20 minutes. So we'll take the plastic cover off. And now it's time to add the butter. Oh, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that right now. Hit that subscribe button so that you get notified whenever we have a new video up. Okay, so we have about 250 grams of room temperature butter, and we're going to add it slowly so that it incorporates well. All right, one little piece at a time. Rosca de Reyes is very popular this time of the year, January the 6th. I do live here in Mexico, up in the mountains, and we prepare this Rosca de Reyes every single year to symbolize when the three kings came to see baby Jesus. The butter is in now, and we're going to let this go for about 10 minutes kneading. So we'll be right back in about 10 minutes. So I turned the dough out of the mixer, and I'm going to finish kneading it by hand. I had it in the mixer for about 10 minutes to get the butter nicely incorporated, but the rest of it is going to be by hand. The dough is very wet and very sticky, and that's exactly how it should be at this point. So it's going to take about another 10 to 15 minutes of picking the dough up and turning it in on itself until it is nice and smooth and ready. So we'll come back in about 15 minutes to see how the dough's looking. Repeating the process of folding it under itself and folding it under itself and slapping it on a table for about 15 minutes. Remember, we did 10 minutes in the mixer also. So if you're doing the whole process by hand, you need to do this for about 25 minutes. So you can see now that the dough is no longer sticky. It's not sticking to my hands. It's not sticking to the table. So it is, or it appears to be ready, but we have to check it. So let's cut off a little piece and let's do the window pane test. Or as we say here in Mexico, prueba de membrana. And if we stretch it, it's not tearing any holes and it's holding up very well. So the gluten is perfectly formed to make a nice, soft, tasty bread. So we're going to throw this back in here. And what we're going to do is put it in a nice oiled bowl and let it proof for a couple hours until it doubles in size. And then we can get to shaping and baking. Okay, so put a little bit of oil in the bowl. Okay, and just kind of get it around all the sides. Okay. All right, we don't want to get too much in there. Okay, and let's go ahead and put the dough in. And we'll put a little bit of oil on top also, just to keep it from drying out. There we go. And we're going to cover this and let it proof. It depends on the temperature in your house or your kitchen. But I'm thinking here, I'm up on the mountaintop and it's pretty cool up here. We are in January now, and the weather is pretty brisk up here, even though we're pretty far south in Mexico. So I'm going to go ahead and let this proof for a couple hours, let it double in size, and we'll be right back. Okay, so our dough has been proofing for just shy of 2 hours, and it has doubled in size. As you can see, it's looking very good. So we're going to flour our work surface just a little bit, just so our dough doesn't stick while we're working. Not too much. Okay, that's good. And we're going to turn our dough out. There it goes. And what we're going to do now is we're just going to knock some of the air out. Trying to flatten it out a little bit. Okay, I think we got some of the air out. And then we're just going to roll it up, make it easier to cut. And since we're making 6 roscas, 6 small roscas, we're going to cut this into 6 equal pieces. Okay. Cut it in about half. Okay. And then we'll cut each of these halves into 3 pieces. So 2, 3. Okay, so we have our dough equally divided into 6 pieces of about 330 grams each. And now we're just going to take these and fold them into, make little balls. So just fold the sides in and kind of pinch in the middle there. Turn it over and make our little dough balls. We're going to have 6 of these. So continue doing this for all of these. Just pull the sides in, pinch to seal, flip over, and just complete your ball. We're going to cover these with plastic for about 10 minutes. There you go. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes that our dough balls have been resting. So we can uncover them. And what we're going to do next is we're going to roll these out. We'll start with this one. And we're going to roll it out into a triangle. Did I say triangle? Rectangle. Yeah. Now what we're going to do is we're going to form sort of like an envelope. Pull it over. And we're going to keep rolling. Okay. And this is the point where we're going to put our little muñecos, our little baby Jesus dolls in here. These are small roscas, so we're only going to have 3. Place them right here in this edge. Okay, and 3. Then roll it over. Press with your palms. You want to seal that dough. Okay, keep going. Okay, and you roll it. You want to make sure you seal this edge here. And keep rolling. Okay. We're going to place these over to the side and keep going. Okay, so I finished making the last roll and I'm going to cover these for plastic Cover these with plastic for about 10 minutes to let them rest. Okay, be back in 10 minutes. Okay, our rolls of dough have been resting for about 10 minutes, so let's uncover them. Take the plastic off. And let's see. This was our first one, so we're going to start with this. And we're going to just keep rolling out to elongate our roll a little bit more. Let's get rid of this. Okay, with one end, we're going to make a little point. Okay, and the other end, we're going to open it. And then we're going to join these two together. Now I have two pans that I've already greased. So we're going to spread these out on our greased sheet pans. These are going to be very small roscas. Okay, once you have that done, you're going to cover these in plastic and let them proof for about 30 to 45 minutes until they almost double in size. Okay, we're back and we're going to make our topping for our rosca. We're going to be making a paste that once cooked on top of the rosca is a nice crunchy delight. So we're going to start with our 200 grams of butter. Get that into our mixing bowl. Room temperature, as always. Sorry for all the clinking noise. It happens when you have dishes. And we're just going to beat this for about 3 to 4 minutes, get it nice and fluffy. Okay, it's been about 3 minutes and our butter is looking nice and white and fluffy. So we're going to add our powdered sugar. I'm only going to add about half at a time so it doesn't go flying out. Okay, let's give that a go. And let's scrape the bowl down because we have a lot of powdered sugar hanging out on the sides of the bowl here. Okay. Scrape, scrape, scrape. You always got to scrape your bowl. And let's put the rest of the powdered sugar in and continue mixing. Now we're going to add our 75 milliliters of warm milk, a little at a time, so it mixes nicely with the butter and the sugar. Now we can add our eggs one at a time until each is incorporated nicely. Okay. One more. And our clear vanilla flavoring. Throw that in. That's a half a teaspoon. And now let's add in half of our flour. We have 300 grams of all-purpose flour. And the other half. And then we have 20 grams of powdered milk. We'll add that last. And that's it. That's our pasta topping. Okay, so now that we have our vanilla paste, pasta, whatever you want to call it, ready, we're going to put it into a piping bag. I have this large Atico 789 piping tip that I'm going to use to apply the paste to the rosca. So let's fill the bag. I always like to put my piping bag into some type of container to kind of help me out. And we're just going to put it all in there. Shake it down. Come on, shove it on down there. Press it down to the tip. You can also push it down with a flat edge to get some of the air out. I'm just using my bench scraper and just gently pushing on the pasta to get all the air out. Okay, so these have proofed for about 30 minutes. And now we're going to uncover them and do a little egg wash. Being careful not to deflate the dough. They're very delicate. So very gingerly do the egg wash. Do not press all around. All right. All right, now let's put our pasta on. Okay, so here we go. You're going to be careful not to go all the way down to the end. The tray. So you might need to have a knife here. Okay. And one more side here. We're just going to do 3 of these per rosca. Okay. Okay. There we go. And we'll cut that off right there. Okay, we've got our topping, our paste topping on. Now let's add some of our other decorations. Some cherries. You want to press them down a little bit so they don't slide off when it bakes, but you don't want to deflate you don't want to press so hard that you're going to deflate your work here. Okay, and we're going to do some quince paste, some colored quince paste, some red. Some green.
Just like that. And we have a few egos here. We'll put a couple figs in English, ego in Spanish. Now, my grandmother never made this because she's not Mexican. So I didn't learn it from her. I did learn this here in Mexico where I live. I live, a good ways down in the state of Michoacan. And I've been here for about 20 years. I am Mexican and American, both. And I love living here. Okay. And there you go. We're going to stick these in the oven right now. Be right back. 25 minutes at 356 Fahrenheit. Oh, there you are. And here you go. Rosca de Reyes for the Three Kings. Thank you for watching.